Okay, so thanks for a great class. I think that the shift from just researching and writing papers to having more project-based learning has been a nice shift of pace. I really appreciated how each of our learning pathways built upon each other and how we had a chance to really incorporate feedback. Oftentimes in classes, we receive feedback and we, have strategies to then put it onto our next paper, but this one really built on all of those building blocks. I think probably my biggest takeaway is using more frameworks in lesson planning and in vision casting. So, and also thinking more about the intersections of those. For instance, I shared a lot in my shareable on our live classroom about really looking through the lens of the self-determination theory, but then seeing the intersection of female empowerment and of inclusivity. It stretched me to think about lesson planning within these frameworks now that I'm only seeing my students once a week, and I've been very accustomed teaching over the last 15 years to seeing them 3, 4, 5 days a week, and being able to then have them for multiple years thereafter. So I'm excited because Raleigh, being one of the second fastest metro companies and growing metro areas in the country right now, growing because of so many opportunities for remote learning, I think it really opens up the door to be able to promote a community choir in a new way, and that these self-efficacy and leadership skills can be transferable. So I really appreciated all of the live classrooms. I know some of the classes in the past, we've had them like every 2 or 3 weeks. And so this class, being able to have it every week was really beneficial and helpful. I really appreciated the format of a large Zoom first, and then the smaller facilitation guides. I think that was my biggest takeaway, is to be able to really, with remote learning, with online learning, to be able to really also take advantage of the resources that Boston University is offering and that all of our professors here are offering. And as far as my pedagogy, I think that the bi-directional learning is probably my biggest takeaway there, and to be implicit through the repertoire for the theory. I used to use a lot of like Sight Reading Factory and theory.net, and really being able to look more about how empowerment with like authorial agency is something that we can facilitate for our students and that we can be empowering to them, but that we as teachers have to step away, and we cannot just be the giver of information, but to be able to select repertoire with student voice, to be able to, I think, really dig into more living composers and having them, come and speak, or like showing some of their webinars or podcasts, also connecting across curricular, and cultivating just that sense of self-esteem and personal value, I think, is really important. Mental health is a big issue, obviously, in our adolescents, especially post-pandemic, and I think a lot of colleges are doing a much better job of on-ramping, but we as music educators often see sides of our students that perhaps the classroom subject teachers do not. And so that's another thing, a takeaway from this class, with looking and researching all of the frameworks of self-efficacy and motivation theories, that we can help facilitate some of those things and perhaps even be more perceptive of what the students' needs could be. And it's not just teaching music, right? It's having a lot more of empowerment with agencies, and being able to just infuse those skills so that no matter how long they take with us, whether it's a year or multiple years, for instance, in this case of a community choir, that they would feel comfortable applying these things to other areas as well. So I've really appreciated this class, and I look forward to applying it further as I continue not only teaching a community choir, but also now programming a statewide, all state. I'm really going to be looking for more feedback from the teachers and from the students once they sign up for the program, and giving a lot more of student voice, instead of me just being the one to set the repertoire in conjunction with the composer. So thank you, Dr. Johnson and Dr. Bailica and all of the classmates for all the feedback.